All right, welcome. We've got Aparna Patel, and
Hello,
hey, how are you? You're the hero of the month, so we want to
thank
find
you.
out about what you're doing and who you do it for, and any good insights you've got that can help other architects. Um, yeah, just because you've been on a learning experience for the last few years. So tell us, who are you? What do you do, and who do you do it for?
I'm Aparna. Hi. The name of my company is Mansur Architecture, and I'm originally from India.
What
My
part?
company,
Oh, sorry, go on.
yeah, I said my company, Mansur, we practice Vedic architecture. That is our niche.
Vedic architecture, right? Yeah. And what part of India? I'm just curious because India is becoming,
I'm,
such an important, India, China are just becoming so
yes,
important.
I'm from Maharashtra, the state of Maharashtra originally,
Right. Okay.
from close to Mumbai.
Okay. Excellent. The Mumbai Indians, the cricket team. There's a good documentary on Netflix about them. Okay. If you don't know cricket, you wouldn't know the Mumbai Indians, but cricket is pretty important in India. And I'm a cricketer.
Very, yes.
Yeah. All right. So, how long ago did you come from India to the US, and why did you come to the US? And I want to ask kind of what that was like coming from India to set up in America, because we've talked about this before.
Well, it was a natural process of marriage for
Right.
a girl. After my studies, I got married and I followed my husband. He's a scientist. I have my education and training in architecture and planning in India.
Right.
So I followed him after marriage. That was in 2000, and I'm here since then. Yeah.
Okay. So since 2000. Now, what was it like? I mean, what was it like? Obviously, completely different culture, but did you go straight into setting up your own firm, or did you work for another firm, or it must have been incredibly intimidating, changing cultures and languages? And I suppose you spoke a little. Did you speak
Yes,
any
it
English
is.
when you came?
Yes, I did speak in English, but I did not have this American accent. I
Right.
had to learn it. Even now, I have the exotic Indian accent.
Yes.
But coming to America was a big cultural shift for me. There were so many new things I had to learn. I had to understand not only the language, not only the way things work, but also in architecture, I had to understand the way buildings function.
Right.
In India, we work in RCC, brick, concrete. Here it is drywall, steel. So there was a huge learning curve. And I did a job first. I was looking for work. So I ended up doing job for a couple of years. And then I proceeded with my internship development program, gave my exams, and I started my company in 2016.
Excellent. 2016. And so one of the, I don't know, you talked about Vedic architecture, and I know it's kind of the influence and flavor. Tell us about Vedic architecture. What is it, and how does it work?
Vedic architecture is the ancient architecture which is based on the principles of Vedic. These are called Vedic principles, and very. I'll try and read to you who I consider my guru. He says that this science deals with the eternal process of the subtle energy manifesting into material space or material form. So, in short, Vedic architecture is about the science of manifestation of energy into matter or material form. So, Einstein's E equals mc square energy is
Yes.
subtle, it's everywhere. But if you have to give it a material form, that's what you give it as a Vedic
Yeah,
building.
that's amazing, isn't it? So it's often amazing some of the, I don't know, the ideas and technology that came from a long time
Yes.
ago,
Mm-hmm.
that they discover these principles, and they can be, even today they're still valid. So okay, so it's all about manifesting energy at a very high level. What are some of the things that you do to manifest energy, or good energy? I suppose, I don't know, is it good energy, bad energy? I think we've talked about positioning, you know, bedrooms in the
Mm-hmm,
right
mm-hmm,
place and things like that.
mm-hmm.
But at a high level, what are some of the things that help energy?
Sure, sure. Now, the principle is that everything around us has five elements embedded into it. Our earth, our environment, our cosmos is made up of five elements, which is um, air, water, fire, earth, and space. Space is Akasha, or that subtle source from which everything is born. Stars are born, universe is born. So with the principles of Vedic architecture is you define these four elements in a frame of mandala. Mandala is a frame. So mandala is the word for a frame. You position these elements in that frame, and based on these elements, then you place the functions of a building accordingly on that frame.
Okay.
And these four elements, or these five elements, not four, five elements are based on the path of the sun as it rises in the east, takes a southward path, and sets in the west. So, very in a nutshell, we define the five elements on a grid,
Right.
and then we place the functions of a building on that grid.
That's awesome. So I know it's incredibly, I'm asking you to explain things at a high level in a nutshell, which is probably very unfair, right? But it's fascinating that, and so you come up with a framework that incorporates those aspects, and then you design to make sure that you're hitting those aspects of energy. So what we've talked about some interesting things a while ago. And you talked about how the impact. Okay, so it's all very well to say, okay, it better energy and all that, but how does it manifest in people's lives? What sort of impact can having the house designed using Vedic principles? What impact can that have on people? And do you have any interesting stories about people who have moved into a Vedic space and seen an impact?
Yes, oh yes, I see it. And honestly, when I see that happening, I'm myself surprised and pleasantly so, because these these are so powerful principles. I'll give you an example. There was a client who came to me whose business was not doing very well. So I went to see his space. I examined his shop. He had a retail space and his house, and found out that there was something wrong with the earth element of his house.
Right.
Now, according to Vedic principles, you need to have a complete, you need to have that element in full totality in the plan. You shouldn't have chamfer, there shouldn't be cuts, there shouldn't be, um, this, the element should not be cut off. So what we did was we examined it, and then I remedied it for him. I completed that element by building out that space. And guess what? His business turned around
Right.
180 degrees. Some of his money had gotten stuck. He wouldn't get the payments back from some of his clients. He received those back. So completing the earth element, which is responsible for finances, which is responsible for stability, he got all of that back. So this, the unstable finances became stable, if I may.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it worked for him. So that is one example. And many such examples I see my clients experiencing once they incorporate these principles in their homes, in their offices.
Now, another one you've talked about is relationships.
Yes.
Look at your face light up.
Yes, relations, of course. Now, I need to give, Richard, I give lectures in universities on these principles, and they go on for several hours.
Yes, I know it's
But
very unfair, and
but but
I
very
said
but
10.
very
We're going to go a bit longer than I said because this is really interesting stuff.
So for relationships, Vedic principle says that you need to have, in a residential setup, the master bedroom should be in the southwest zone
Southwest,
of
yep.
the house, because southwest is represented by the earth element, and this is where the master bedroom should be,
Right.
because it guarantees, or it guarantees is actually the right word, because the principle says you get your visions, your long-term planning, your financial stability, your relation stability is all based in the earth element, which is in the southwest zone of the Vastupurush mandala.
Now, is that the same in the southern hemisphere? Because I'm going to go and check my bedroom. I don't think I'm in the southeast, but is it the same in the southern hemisphere, or does it flip around? It's still
No,
southwest.
southwest. So,
Okay.
so when you have
My
your
bedroom's in the wrong place, but yeah.
So if you have your bedroom in southwest with the head facing south, the Vedic principles state that you will have a very stable relationship.
Okay.
You will have stability in your finances. There'll be stability in your career. If you have it in the opposite zone, which is the water element, which is in the now northeast, exactly diagonally opposite to southwest, then there are unstable relationships, finances don't last, careers don't go for a long period of time.
Right.
And these are sets of principles which have been time tested. In India, people prefer to have these zones in their homes when they build. Indian clients who are my major clientele here in US, they prefer to have their homes on these principles.
Mm.
I would not be able to explain exactly why or how that happens, but I would definitely say that this is based on the experience of all these years.
Mm.
Not my experience alone, but experience of so many clients.
Mm.
So we prefer to have master bedrooms, southwest corner, main offices, southwest zone, company CEO, southwest, the head of the office, southwest, because southwest is stability, finances, career, long-term planning, all of that good things which is required for strength and anchoring power is in the zone of southwest, earth element.
Fascinating. And so
It's fascinating.
it's amazing. So Feng Shui has similar type of, how does it compare to Feng Shui?
Now, what my guru told me once was that uh, the Buddhist monks, they carried these principles along with them across the Himalayas into China.
Right.
And in the mainland of China, they practiced these principles. They adopted it to suit to their needs, and which is called feng shui. So the term feng shui is yin yang, the principles. So they adopted from the principles of Vastu or Vedic architecture, and they took it in China. I'm not a feng shui expert, but I know that they also talk of 5 elements, and they also have these framework within which the functions are set up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's all I can comment on.
Excellent. Okay, so I want to move. So that's amazing, and I'm sure, like you say, it's very unfair to say in 10 minutes, tell me Vedic architecture. But in a nutshell, what I've picked up, it's about energy, and it's about by locating different rooms in certain positions, then you're going to maximize the energy that is available to you, and it'll align with the energy will align with the best things in life. So you'll have a happier life. Okay. Tell me about any insights you've had by being a business owner. What's the one thing that you've learned in the last few years that's helped you as a business owner?
Being humble, being very, very humble, and very honest. Because what I practice, some people find it very esoteric. They find it very strange. They find it, how can you just believe in something like this? So I have to explain to them in a scientific form. But as a business owner, I think being very humble and explaining it to them as humbly as possible has made me put my principles across in the best manner.
Right. And you talk about, in business, because we're told a lot of things about business and do this and do that, and you're supposed to do this, but you've always talked about realizing that everybody you deal with, whether it's a CEO of a company or a husband and wife or something, but everybody's a human.
Yes.
Tell me about that insight. Were you trying to do other things originally, or
I have realized and come to understand that my clients, I mean everyone, we're all humans.
yes,
We talk with each other. We have the same fears. We have the same concerns. End of the day, we have the same problems that we all face as humans. So getting to know my clients on a very human level, addressing their fears, addressing their concerns, has helped me help them in the best possible manner. And one way is I used to consider I must be very professional, very very curt, very strong. I should look very aggressive,
right,
but that's not always the case. The more human I am, the more humble I am, the more clients trust,
right,
the more they share, and
right,
the more they share, the more I understand, and the better I can serve.
right.
So this, well, what I mean by human is when I go in a meeting, I don't have to be a very aggressive person. I can just be myself.
Yes,
I
yes.
can also express my fears. I can also say, "I'm sorry, I don't know what you mean, but I think this, or maybe I'll find out."
I think
So that's what I mean by
that's
human.
very you. And sometimes I think as business owners, we need to put away the sales manuals that teach us to, say this and do this and, don't give up and, follow up a million times and ask deep, ask. Um, Sometimes, as you say, you've just got to show a human side and connect with someone on a human level, and you don't need the sales books. You just need to connect with people on a human level, and they'll want to connect with you. And that's I definitely, it's what I'd say, knowing you, Aparna. You're one of the kindest, most human centered people that I know. And so,
Oh, thank you.
yeah. So, I feel calmer every time I leave you. Maybe you've got your bedroom in the right place and it's having an impact on me all the way down in New Zealand. So, hey, thank you, Aparna. You're this month's hero of the month. And
Thank you.
I look forward to continuing to work with you.
Same here, Richard. Thank you very much. You've been awesome.